I'll just do a number now.
No, don't, Des, put it down.
Should we do that thing we did before?
What did we do before?
No, where you sang the big note.
Oh, no. We'll show what you for life. Well, you haven't got your mic now. We'll just show it for life. Just sing it. Go on.
You ready?
You've got to get a shot of me as well. We're doing...
Get a shot of him, not me. What a voice!
What a voice! Now, all those jokes wasted on that voice. Listen, I'm so glad to hear you singing the way you sing, because you had a health scare, didn't you? You had a really frightening situation.
I had my annus horribilis last year. I got every singer's worst nightmare. I got a little lump on my vocal cord, and I had to have it operated on. I was told by the specialist, you know, there's no question about it. It's got to go. And you know, I remember my whole life at the time just flashing in front of me, because kind of, as my dad said, it's just as well you can sing because you can't do else. I can't put the other bit in the middle.
We can imagine. But how do you actually deal with news like that? Because you say, obviously, it's hereditary, it's what you do for a living, but, I mean, how do you actually feel about it?
Well, my whole world kind of fell apart. I remember as I was walking back to the car with Roxanne, my girlfriend, and I said, what am I going to do, you know, because kind of singing's all I know, and she was trying to, you know, well, you can talk, you're good at this, you're good at that, and, you know, it's
nothing's going to comfort you.
Nothing would have comforted me at all, and I remember as they were wheeling me down to theatre to have the operation, I remember watching the lights flash by on the ceiling and thinking, you know, if there is a God out there, please just give me one more chance and I will promise to do things differently. And I have. I think my whole life,
That is a life-changing experience.
It is. It's a complete life-changing experience. I don't take it for granted anymore, and I really think that there was a period in my life where I took what I had for granted, and I was a bit too silly, actually.
Yeah.
And how did you get the voice back into shape, though?
Well, 4 months. I mean, after
Must have been scary when you first had the operation, and you would have said, when can I try this?
I was petrified. I'd never been in hospital. I was just as scared about the anaesthetic as I was anything else.
Oh.
I was.
You're a little wimp.
I am a wimp. I tell you, I was like this on the wimp.
So when that moment when you actually, I'm not saying you stood in front of a mirror, thought, here we go. Whatever you did.
I was told I couldn't sing for I was told I couldn't sing for or speak for 2 weeks. I'm sure you can imagine that may have been quite difficult.
It's very hard to do this show, I'll tell it that way. Had your range decreased? Had your range sort of gone? I mean, the reason when you first noticed it, you just thought, I can't hit these notes anymore. Was there a moment when that happened?
There was. I was doing a lot of work. I mean, I was working very, very hard, and I was doing a lot of concerts, and I was struggling with the very high end of my register, which I have to say feels amazing now. It really does feel... I feel like I have a completely different voice now. It's an incredible thing that's happened to me, an incredible transition. But that was a result...
Maybe I should have this operation. Sorry.
I worked with this guy called...
Sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist that. But it is an amazing story.
Well, I worked with this guy called Patrick McGuigan. I found a new vocal coach, and we spent 4 solid months of intense training working on my voice until we got it where we wanted. But, I mean, that was like, you know, every day, just solid, just concentrating purely on the voice. And, you know, he completely changed my way of thinking about my voice. You know, he said to me, it's not like a guitar, well, actually he said, it's not like a guitar, Russell, that at the end of the night, you can put it in a box and forget about it. It's with you 24 hours a day, and you've got to remember that. And I did.
Now, let's talk about, because your story is quite incredible, really, because you were doing the working man clubs up north, and you were doing Elvis impressions. Is that right?
It was.
And somebody came up and suggested that you sing...
Ness and Dormer.
Ness and Dormer.
Well, actually, on the night, he said, have you tried that Nesty Dormer? You've heard it before.
And you put it in the...
did it?
I did Nesty Dormer, yes, I learnt it parrot fashion, and I remember the very first club that I performed it in, I got a standing ovation. I'd never had one of those before.
I like this.
I did put pins on the seats.
And you performed in front of the Pope, the Queen. You actually turned down performing on Air
George
Force
W.
One.
Bush.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Well,
Where was this? In one of the big concerts?
I'd done a huge concert at the Ford Theatre, and he'd asked me if... I'd asked him what he was doing. He said, I'm really busy, I'm off to Europe, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. That sounds nothing like the President, does it, really?
But you're not in the President.
You know what I mean. I'm going to be doing
John
this...
Cole sure doesn't sing too well, either. Carry on.
I said... He said, would you like to come and sing for us on Air Force One after he told me all these things that he was doing?
On the plane?
Yes. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy myself next week.
Lovely answer.
I don't like flying.
No, the wind will struck again. I don't want to get on the plane, yeah. This new album, Amore Musica,
yes.
It's a different direction again. You've been flirting around with you go here, you tried pop for a while, right?
Yes.
Is this, you feel, I'm told by your producers, you're comfortable now, you're happy where you are with these new kind of songs?
Yeah, I think it's demonstrating my voice as well, better than, say, for instance, the last record. I was doing a lot of pop stuff, I did some Meatloaf stuff, and I believe that I lost a little bit of direction. I think I lost a little bit of direction with what I was doing, and maybe I should have concentrated more on what I do best.
Yeah.
So maybe from having the voice problem, it's just made you rethink the whole thing.
It made me completely reevaluate my whole life and what was important to me, you know, and kind of running around pulling my hair out. I must sell records, I must sell out concerts, I must do this, I must do that. I kind of realised that it's not really that important. In fact, what was more important to me was being healthy and happy.
Yeah.
And above and beyond that.
The rest is a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, it's a bonus. I just love to perform.
Played here more times than Beckham. That was your birthday, wasn't it, yesterday?
It was my birthday yesterday. I was travelling...
Mel's organised it. Making herself.
Take that. Can you see it?
There you
How
are.
are you? How old are you, may I ask?
He's just a boy.
I'm not going to tell you
Oh,
He's marginally
That's why I
younger
didn't
than
put
me.
candles on it.
Let's for you and your lovely lady, and have a wonderful,
thank you
wonderful
so
year.
much.
Keep on singing.
Nice
and
to
good
see you,
health.
Russell. Nice to
Russell,
see you.
what's that? You can take that with if you want.
I will
All
do.
right, off
Thank
you
you
go.
so much.
Save us a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Russell.